DJ.
Are you done mixing yet?
Your DJ has only just begun.
The DJ accepts no responsibility for the next record. This is a request.
Yo, what the baddest mix this? No man not tell me nothing. Yeah. Racism is alive and well. If we as black people and people of color don't get ourselves together, form some kind of unification, foundation, we talk economically to this kind of capitalism business. It's real. Listen to me, Lord. Racial profiling. It's a serious thing, a bird without wing. Racial profiling. Listen, me king, this one a top a ranking. Racial profiling. It's a serious thing, a bird without wing. Racial profiling. I saw the thing set in a this system. I cannot breathe.
Mr. Jimmy.
Much less gonna Starbucks.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to you, my sir. I'm your boy for he here now. I was wondering, was that? Yeah. One low, PJ.
Testing 1 2 1 2. All right, are we here? See what?
Yeah.
Testing 1 2 1 2. All right, are we here?
We're here.
Right. Greetings. I am G. Michael Reed.
It's not. CY needs to set it up. It's still showing his.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
I am G. Michael Reed.
We're good now.
All right.
There's a little bit of an echo, though. There's a little bit of an echo.
All right.
There's a little bit of an echo, though.
Let's go. We get to that.
There's a delay and an echo, CY.
Hello. We're good now, right? I believe we are. Can you hear me, Greg?
Yes, I can.
All right. Here we go. Welcome to another edition of our Wednesday evening podcast. I understand we have Nigel Petillo scheduled for this evening. That should be interesting. Before we go there, I want to make a report that we had a very successful event here at the Charlie Burton Park. It was Albert Botte Moody Day, the brainchild of a friend of mine in the U.S., Mr. Wayne Moody, who wanted to do something in honor of his father and also do something to stimulate some activity in the park. We accomplished both objectives. It was well put together. We had a couple of very interesting football matches. The highlight, of course, the one I was looking forward to was Kenny Morgan against Pilaf from Yarborough and our own Charlie Burton boys. There's also a team from Berger Field. It went well the entire day. Pilaf at the end of the day walked off with all the prizes. He has developed quite a program back there in Yarborough. And I really think this gentleman needs to get more recognition. He's over there in a little small hut every evening trying to work with the kids. We've been talking about land, and we're going to talk about some land issues this evening. But I know of a couple of vacant lots right there in that Yarborough Green, on that green, where I think this man should be considered. Find some way to acquire that land. They acquire land for lesser reasons and for less good of the public. So they really need to do something about that and have him able to have access to his work site, which he does it. I don't believe he gets any lot of money for what he does anyway. I don't know if he gets any, but he's dedicated to it. Every day he's out there with those children, making sure they learn the basic fundamentals of the sport. And it shows every time he enters a contest, the man usually comes out on top. Anyway, Greg, all is well with you?
It's all going well. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here this evening. I know we have quite a bit to go through. We have Mr. Butler and you have Mr. Petillo. Okay. And so we probably have a full, I think Detroit will be joining us, and probably Lisa. I know she was had some work schedule conflict, but she was going to try and see if she could get online with us.
Okay, I understand Ariel Lightfoot was supposed to, but she's rescheduled for next week.
Yes, yes. I think she have
Uh,
some finals or something of that sort this Wednesday, so she's not
yeah, well,
going to be part of the program.
we're pretty much full up anyway, as it is, because I believe Nigel is a um, show unto himself.
Yeah.
But I see Mr. Christopher Broster is checking in. Is Broster, right?
Yes, Broster. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we understand that he's gonna be embarking on a project of his own
Yes,
podcast and forum, and we definitely want to support that. Bright young fellow, he was on the show with us a while back, if you
yes,
remember, Greg. Yeah,
yes, yes,
I,
yes.
I,
I
I,
forgot to ask him if he was going to take the chip, though. It was after we closed the program. I remember. I forgot because I always ask the young people if they're going to take the chip
I think
that
he
makes
said he
them
was going.
smarter. No,
I,
it was the other two. We asked two of them before,
oh,
but
we
I
didn't
didn't. I
get from
forgot to ask
Christopher.
him. No, so I still have to ask him that.
All right,
Um,
we talk about the chip from where the multimillionaire name, where the guy name.
yeah.
Wait name again, man.
Anyway, it's the AI chip that is supposed to.
Yeah. It's supposed to make you do things and know things. And
Yeah.
listen, give me. I'll settle for Google. I'm good with Google. I can go in there and find what I need to find. I don't need any chipping at the back of my head or any part of my head. I got enough in there where they give me trouble as it is.
Good
Um,
evening, Lisa. Good evening, Lisa.
yeah, it's interesting. Is Lisa gonna take the chip? Did you ask her?
I don't know. I was asking all the teenagers and 20 and 19-year-old, but I know when we get over 30, we scare the chip. But I know Lisa, she might still be 25, so there's still a chance she might be going for the chip.
Oh, you mean the older folks are not gonna be
I don't.
considered?
I don't think they are considering themselves for it.
Uh, yeah.
Gentlemen. Christopher is having internet problems due to the blackout. I think the same way. So when he come back in, we're gonna have him back in.
Okay.
Yeah, I was late because of that. And we've been
Yeah.
having periodic blackouts here in Belize.
And
And
that's
you,
disturbing because you know, as we think, as an electrical engineer, I just wanted to say, you know, the whole economy of the world and everything we're doing today is so based on having electricity and connectivity.
tied
And
into it, tied into it.
when we start failing at those very what now is necessity and basic um, infrastructure of government, well, in the case of us, it's a quasi government, right? But when we start failing at these things, it becomes very disturbing and it harms the productive capacity of the country. And so that is something they need to fix quickly. I know they were getting
I
energy supply from Mexico.
I
And
hear you. We always are. And you know, Gregory, one thing I'm happy about is that we get a supply from Mexico and not Guatemala.
that's
Imagine if
true.
we had them holding us
It,
hostage.
it would be a strategic mistake to get our energy from Guatemala
Well,
when
obviously, it was strategic, good tragedy to get it from Mexico
yes,
to
yes,
begin with,
yeah,
because you know
yeah.
how politicians are. They might say, "Well, why we get it cheap off and then we go in there." You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
they only do get it from them when they're getting something in their pocket. So
But
if
that
they
there it is.
change, we know that something is going on
Oh
untoward
boy,
and corrupt.
what it does for me though, it drives home the point that look at people, say for instance in Gaza, with the
Yeah,
problems they're having.
yeah. What do
Imagine
they do? They
what a
turn off
war
the power.
torn, the war torn thing of it, and we are here going down to the Shibun and the Sarstoon, and I think we need to be careful because they could set themselves up to look like victims and then forward the plan, that whatever plan they have. So we need that. That's what it drives home to me, the importance of keeping the lights on. I see Christopher, are you on there?
Good evening. Your
Yes, good
image is
evening.
a little bit hazy. I don't know if you could adjust the focus on your camera or something of that sort. Or maybe it's more light. I don't know.
Let's see. I'm checking my light since you're telling me about that.
No, yours is good. Yours is good. Gino.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we can hear you, because we're kind of like talk about the show you have coming up, no? How now?
Yes.
And here only
Yeah, we're getting an
feed,
echo and all.
feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, all right, I'm gonna try that. How have you been?
Doing good. I just come back from my evening run because we're preparing for the upcoming national track and field that will be at Marion Jones this weekend, the 4th and the 5th of May.
Well,
So
you're
getting
speaking
myself
to
prepared.
you're speaking to two older guys, and I have to bossy. We know that you go out there and run and whatnot. I come in from a Lee Walk earlier myself, so well, that's the extent, no?
Yep.
Greg, me got a question him. Me want to ask you. Greg, your mic is mute. Greg, your mic is muted, Greg.
Oh, okay, okay. I do want to talk a little bit more about the blockout because that's a critical issue we need to resolve. But Christopher, I always ask all the young people, and we ask a fellow colleague from school with you about whether they would consider taking the chip that Elon Musk is promoting, that is supposed to help people in yeah, well, mostly help them in developing capacities that they're normally not don't have. It is the biochip that will make you smarter and so forth. So I forgot to ask you last time when you were on the program if you would consider taking the chip, because when I talk to all the young people in my office, I have a lot of engineers that are around 24, 27, and I ask them that question, and it seems to me they all come down and decide that, yeah, if it gives us a competitive advantage, we're going to take it. So how about you? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you aware of the chip?
Yeah, I've heard about the yeah, aware about the chip that's been promoted and actually experimented to, as a way of a better advantage of collective memory. To be honest, when I heard about the whole concept, at first I look at it in two ways. It depends because again, our like to insert a chip in the human mind just to like be able to collect memory of us and to be able to live on. I would love to see how they would be able to carry out this procedure because to me looking at it is a little bit risky, but at the same time if they can prove that the procedure can work without affecting the human body
Well, it will affect your
without
humanity. We know they have put it in
causing
rats and different things, and they said it,
like
it
any
does make them smarter.
damages
Well, they're not. They
or
can't put it in your mind. You
so
said
forth,
put it in
then
your mind. They can't put it in your
possibility
mind.
might be accepted.
Uh, they're gonna put it
So
somewhere in the back of your head. No?
Yeah.
it's a risky
It is risky, but will
But
you
then
will you,
again,
will you take the chip? That's the only question. You only have to
yeah,
say yes or
well,
no.
everything is risky. By Bolivia, risk losing a few pennies. So, would you accept a chip that would give you a competitive edge, make you able to just do a lot of things that you wouldn't have been able to do without it? Would you accept the chip? Would you consider it? I think Christopher froze on us. But I think you need the chip for true though, so it might help your computer work. Uh, Chris,
but
Chris,
but but I
he's
wanted
gone.
to talk about the energy problem,
Yeah, the blackout and thing.
the
Yeah,
blackout, because we don't know exactly. I haven't been able to much formulate what the issue is. It doesn't seem like it's a sub. I know we've been having talks with Mexico about having I think they provide like 18 megawatts or something like that. Um, I know we've been
I
having talks with them to make sure that their supply is more reliable or more consistent, because their country has been developing and they have been needing the energy themselves that they supply to Belize. So I know
yeah.
that
That
I
is,
know.
San Pedro is currently undergoing a blackout as we speak. From this
Yeah,
morning until about midnight tonight, they're saying
yeah,
the
yeah,
tourism
yeah,
hub
yeah,
of the
yeah,
city.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is rough. I understand Mexico when they get peak hours and they overload their
Hmm.
system,
Hmm.
they have to cut us down.
Shadows. Yeah.
But Gregory, didn't we put I think that 2 or 3 dams we built.
Yeah, we had built like 3 dams. I don't think they
3
have
dams.
been working. They have been working as planned. There have been some issues with having actual the full capability of them. And then, if you remember, like 3 years ago, we had that. Like 2 years ago, I think we had that season where we didn't have rain and the rivers were not flowing, and even the fishes and stuff.
We can't say that for this year. We had
No,
some
no. For the
rain.
last 2 years, I think we have recovered from that. But I think the
Well,
dam is also filled with silt, and those things need to be
seriously?
maintained. That's what I was told.
But
And
you know how
those
much
things
money
have.
we spend on that thing, yeah, man?
Well, that's fine. You could build it, but you got to maintain it. And one of the problems
Yep.
we fail to do often is to provide the required maintenance and support to make sure that things will perform as
Farm,
the
yep.
intended design.
When I was growing up, we had power plant back at Ice Factory,
Yes.
and I think every district had its own power plant
Yes.
that was supplied. I know we've grown exponentially, but at the same time, we also brought online the dams, and you say they're not being maintained, which is ridiculous. I was talking the other day about that pump at the end of the canal that they put a lot of money into
Backwards.
that.
They put it backwards.
That happened, no? And the
I
pump
think I think that's what happened. The pump is
no,
in the
I
proper
can't believe that.
orientation.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
really
heard.
that way?
That's what I heard. I don't know, and I haven't confirmed it, but that's I don't know if that was just someone talking, but I can't imagine how that error like that could have happened with qualified
Nothing.
engineers sitting there, and so many people kind of reviewing those things. So that's not an easy mistake to make. It's not.
I try to maintain the proper language on the show, but give me this one. Nobody do Ras like Belize. Man, can we well, anyway, Christopher, are you back? Can you hear us now?
Yes, I am back. Yes, I'm hearing.
All right, talk to it. Tell where I got planned where you're going evening where you're doing a show with some young people. Is that it?
Yes. So I'll be so I was given the opportunity, but I want to first express my gratitude to Mr. Morrison, to Mr. Koi, to Mr. Mikes, and to all of the fraternities. So yes, I'll be hosting the first ever Sea Smoke Setting the Pace podcast. And so what this podcast will be about starting next week will be on sports oriented, but at the same time we'll be looking at other factors like how politics kind of destroy the growth of athletes, also the economic aspects of how athletes were able, how we as athletes go through our daily challenges throughout. And so so our first podcast will be starting on May the 8th. It's going to be live 7 Belize, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Do you have a guest for the show yet?
So what happened is that the first guest that will be for the first podcast is the UB Track Club, because I am part of that UB Track Club, and so I have athletes that are part of it that will be online first, where we'll be discuss about the nationals that will be taking place this weekend, and to express what were what were some of the factors preparing for it, and also we want to talk about Marion Jones on a whole, like how the government locking up funding the track stadium, because we have these big events and our track is not up to its ability. So that will be like the first topic will be touched. Yep.
You're going full show, and of course they have to come if you're telling since that you're a part of that, right? So we're the guarantee you guess. I see George in the house. Good evening, Joe. How are you? All right. Christopher, what day are you coming on?
The 8th, he said.
It's Thursday.
I think it's before us, right?
No, it's not on Wednesdays. What day are you coming on? Your mic is muted, Chris. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
What day will it be that your show will be?
It is on Wednesdays. It's going to be
Wednesday too.
Yeah, it's going to be before you comprehend you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you coming on at what time, Belize now? 6 Belize. What time? Belize time.
Correct. 6
That
Belize.
will 6 Belize. Yep.
All right. So the show will be for an hour then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing that you start next week, May the 8th. Correct?
Yes.
All right. And next week is when is Mother's Day? It should be the 10th, no?
The 10th. Yep.
10th, okay.
Yeah, 8th, 9th, 10th. No, it wouldn't be the 10th. It may be 11th or the 12th. It'll be the 12th then. That is second May in second Sunday in May, or is it the first Sunday in May? I don't recall.
Must be the
Second.
Second, yeah. All right, so get close to Mother's Day there. But we wish you a lot of luck, Chris. We look forward to me and I have to come on a little earlier for sit down in and watch you at work. We really need voice of the young. You know, you guys are taking over, and I don't envy you because the world we had to see you to step into, is a challenging one, my brother. Uno got to be. Do you guys discuss international matters at UB? Have you covered the Israeli and Palestine conflict over there?
Well, so far there's an idea about having a conference where they will get a representation from both Israel and Palestine to talk with us. But right now, currently with UB, there are still talks about it within the classrooms. So, but we're looking forward for that big opportunity where we could actually get representation from the two sides that can come and discuss with it. Mm-hmm.
Are you keeping up yourself on the news? Have you been following it? And
Yes, I am. I'm following up it. Like, I think it was like about 2 weeks or so for that Iran launched bombs towards Israel, and it's becoming a little bit worse. So, yeah, and at the same time, I see of recently that the CCJ is looking about the arrest warrants to Israel president. So
ICJ.
that one is ICJ.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, interesting. The issue with Iran seems to have been de-escalated.
Yes.
So that doesn't look like it's going to be as bad as it could have been. Israel first bombed the embassy, I believe, in Damascus, and Iran felt that they needed to reply.
Well, they actually killed two senior Iranian military officers in the bombing. We don't know who else may have been killed from Iran, but we know two senior military officers died.
It's an interesting. I think you guys should be discussing it in school, though. I think they should discuss all these matters because it affects us. All of us in the world today are affected by these matters.
It's a big issue right now in the United States, across the country, and college campuses.
Have you heard that, Christopher? That all the colleges are staging sit-ins and demonstrations.
Yeah.
And in fact, you know what? The mainstream media doesn't tell it, but every Saturday in every major city in the world, there have been major demonstrations. I mean, big demonstrations.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it on the mainstream media. Al Jazeera
because a group of people control the media that doesn't allow it to be shown. That's the problem.
Many believe that in the military and industrial complex, no?
I know I came in a bit late, but Mr. Brasta apparently is a student at UB, huh?
Yes.
All right. Now that you're on that topic with the issue with the protests and the demonstrations by university students, do you believe that if the University of UB, as it I believe should be in the States, if the students could have a forum where they can debate these issues, don't you think that would be a way to sort of vent the feelings to and maybe cool down some of the irrational behaviors? To debate the issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, it will be a great, interesting debate topic, and I think at UB too we have the debate club as well. So, so mostly those students who are part of the debate club they will be the ones that will be promoting the idea and choose a side and try to get people to, pick a side or to portray what we know about the whole war and see, you know.
Do you have an opinion on the matter?
Well, so far I'm still kind of follow on the research, so I still not have much on opinion towards it. But to know that in the end, I believe that ceasefires needs to happen, and there has to be some kind of a peace negotiation in the near future of it, if or
Do you see any,
possible.
Chris? Do you see any similarity between what is happening in the case of Israel and Palestine and what may be happening in the case of Guatemala and Belize, particularly with the recent events in the South Sudan? Do you see any parallels there, any similarities in terms of the geopolitics?
Well, the similarities we can see or I can point out will be regarding on, because like Palestine and Israel is because of the land area. Because if you notice that the issue was with Palestine and Israel was that it was believed and based on the whole research was that the entire land that Israel was once was belongs to Palestine. And as the years goes on, then we see that the land eventually starts to show us that Israel is occupying more or taking land from the Palestinians to the point that Palestinians became a little bit shorter from what it was. Just like in Belize City, where that Belize, says that partial Belize land belongs to Guatemala, but it was a whole border dispute of, because at the same time with Belize now, they weren't like as much as there were like records of how the treaties and also with the dispute between several lands, but we see that there's a little bit of a similarities, yes, in terms of the border dispute among each.
I just want to correct something you said. It's not Belize that says Belize belongs to Guatemala. It's Guatemala that says Belize belongs to them. Just to correct that.
That might be a strategy that we could pursue, no? Maybe we start to say, but I don't think we're gonna get far with that.
But interestingly, we had what those general has said, which they step outside of their diplomatic role to have said that, and I think our prime minister responded to it. But what we need to hear from is the president of Guatemala also, how we are going to check this, because that's when military officers start speaking like that, we're really setting ourselves up for dangerous.
Well, we have to be. I think we've played it smart all along. I was trying to make this point on the Krem show this morning, and they cut me off. We Belize has not been falling into their trap. It's the same kind of trap that they felt the Palestinians fell into when they attacked the Israelis in over there out of Gaza. That in fact they gave them the ammunition to fight with. They gave them reason. They were now the victim. So we can, out of self-defense, we have to get rid of these people or they're going to attack us again. Yeah. And so our Belize has not been doing that. We have not been tantalizing them. And I have an issue with the whole Sarstoon expeditions that they go on upon. And I think we need to rely on the court. The ICJ is looking a bit toothless in the whole Palestine thing, because they have ordered a ceasefire that has not been adhered to at all. But I think we are yet to see the full strength of the ICJ, and we will eventually, because it's the whole world that's speaking, and America and Israel by themselves cannot fight against the entire world for sure. Mario Lara is saying conflict due to artificial borders that England had a hand in drawing. Okay.
Well, I don't know where to go with that. All borders or most borders are artificial in some nature.
And most of them, England had a hand in drawing. Remember when England, the sun
Yes.
never set on the English Empire? So the mindset of entitlement parallels the agendas.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask Chris a question. How would you advise, if you were in a position to advise the government, how you think you would advise the government to respond to the provocation by the military in the South Sudan, the Guatemalan military? How would you advise the government to respond?
Well, to advise the government in regards of the Sarstoon, I think it would be probably first will be about first reaching out to the president of Guatemala to discuss about the Star Soon issues. Like we try to hold like a head-to-head negotiation about the Star Soon, and if there is no kind of a headway towards the head-to-head negotiation with the Star Soon, then I believe, well, because right now the way how I'm seeing it is that yes, there are patrolling these borders to the extent that maybe, you know, there's a possibility of maybe a little war conflict that starts soon. So I think it's about, but I think the first approach is to at least try to have like a head-to-head negotiation with the representation of Guatemala, and if there is no headway, then the next approach, I believe it will be just to probably
Well,
then have to.
This one,
I don't think there'll be any conflict in terms of military, and I hope there's not, because it's not a conflict we can win. So we need to make sure that we keep de-escalating that. But I'll tell you, Mr. Chairman, I do believe we have every right with the people that goes to the border and show our territorial integrity by boating around the island. I think that is in our national interest. See, in terms of ownership, if you don't exercise your sovereignty and claim over it, you could lose it. And so I'm very concerned, and I appreciate that they do take those measures every now and then. We hope it doesn't become provocative. We hope that's
the point. Because when
it's provocative in action, but we hope it doesn't become a more standoff issue than just them chatting across each other on the bow of their boat.
Christopher, good. Thanks. We look forward to seeing you next week. You start next week, you say, right? At 6 Belize time. Joe Chris is having a show there. We look forward to that. I see Nigel Petia is in the house, and of course we really want a full show with him. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, man. Nigel, good evening and welcome to the show, sir.
Good night, guys. Good night, guys. Thanks for having me tonight.
We have Mr. Joe Cowie. We have Mr. Gregory Morrison, and of course, I see Lisa Castaneda is in the side there. Also, she'll chime in from time to time. We long time we want to talk to you because we got some, in particular when it comes to land issues. How are things at Harmonyville?
Yes, Harmonyville. There's harmony in Harmonyville. Again, quick story about Harmonyville. Harmonyville, 1,300 acres of land that was sitting on the highway for at least 15, 16 years. An Asian owner haven't been paying the taxes, the absentee owner. It was sitting here, a couple of people done the start of squat on it. And growing up trying to get a piece of land, it has been hard. So I diverted my attention to it and started speaking to other people, inviting people to come out, fight with the government, to have them understand that there's laws that speak to us acquiring this land for the benefit of your people. And so we fight it through by means of adverse possession, where after 12 years, somebody not paying their taxes, and you have been working on that land, showing interest on that land, building on that land, developing that land, you could actually acquire that land. And so we fight.
Is that a law? Is that a law, Nigel?
Yes, that is a law. This is squatting is real too, you know. I think is that there are real situations because
squatters' rights.
Squatters' rights. Yeah. So today Harmonyville have 1,041 acre parcels that were distributed amongst first-time landowners. They were asked to pay $400 Belize for the survey. We did the survey. Out of the change, we did some roads and what's not, and some extra developments. To date, we have about 200 families living here in Harmonyville. A portion of the community has light, water, and some roads. We pay tax to the government, annual and property tax. And so we still try to see how we could get assistance from the government in certain areas as well. However, I do want to applaud those of the members out there who have made the sacrifice and prioritize developing their land and are actually out here living on their land. So Harmonyville is a success. Not only that, but the message that we sent, that unified as one people in a numbers, we were able to fight the government and dictate to an extent what it is we want and how we, I mean, you know, we dictated the pace to an extent. So again, I want to give thanks to the members, the followers, the supporters who understand what the grassroots fight was about. Today we are landowners, our children have a piece of land for the future. We're creating generational wealth here.
I see you didn't have much luck with the buffer zone move because you wanted to plant some stuff on the buffer zone, right?
You touch me there, G-Mike. That was serious. Listen to me, gentlemen and lady. First of all, the government summoned us to the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land, for intentions of planting corn. You hear me there? Intentions of planting. What? You want to plant corn in the buffer? Supreme Court. If you plant corn tomorrow, we will seize all your assets and those who follow you, this, that, bam. Never plant the corn. The risk, the threat was serious, and I regret not gone ahead and plant corn, because sometimes if you push the authorities to an extent to show that some stupid rules and regulations just not make sense. Certain things we used to do 30, 40 years ago, we could look at it today now and see how it fit into today's era. However, we gone to Supreme Court, we end up in a mediation. The idea of planting corn, which is a 3-month crop. You know, chop the corn, you know, it drop on the ground. It just drop right down. Corn now expensive grass. Corn is a mechanism of how we were going to garner revenue and build our community, build roads, assist those who need this, that. The government not really do much for we here other than taking our tax money. So we will come up with ideas and solutions to our problems. And I think that was the main threat. The fact that a grassroots organization came up with solutions and ways to develop themselves and move together as a people was a threat to the way the government has been managing this country.
Nigel, but there's a reason also for the buffer zone, isn't there?
Well, I just tell you, G-Mike, we are due to utilize it to the government. You know when I tell you for them? Leave it in its natural state. Let all of the tall trees there in the front, and we then build a community behind this bush. We say we got a better idea than that. Make we utilize the space, plant corn where we drop down, if I not chop it down here and drop down. And we are use the money to build the streets where you know what the full government. G-Mike, come on. We can't sit down and talk about that as our people, government to people with this, such a nice idea. I see Paisal country have can grow. I see the other countries where I go, they place can, they grow out. The land is sitting there, utilize the land, you know, a better farm, you know, beautiful this highway, man, look, with their can they grow.
Okay. that one it kind of tough, because again, if you're going to buffer zone and a buffer zone is there for a purpose, then you kind of not necessarily could just.
But there was another part I never said it just now. The commissioner at the time told us we are the managers of the buffer zone. However, my problem was that we never get it in a writing. I have a news clip that showed that the man said in a news clip that we are the managers of the buffer zone. You hear what I just tell you that? Then when we go in a court now, we're not in a writing. So, but I showed them a clipping. You hear what I just tell you? So the idea was to stop this innovative idea of grassroots. We come up with one solution to the problem, but the government, they say, oh, no, this young man, they grow, this group, they grow, people, they follow there, we have to stop there. Carry that Supreme Court, because if that plant grow, people will say, wow, they're about to sharp. Then they make their own money. Then they think, what is the next plan now? I shut up, leave it.
No, we good. You got it. Listen, Joe, you may say something.
I think that there are 3 things I want to maybe highlight with Mr. Good night, sir. He mentioned about the case of squatters. He mentioned about the case of taxes that were owing. And then he mentioned about what he called a buffer zone, which is really the reserve, no, in law.
Yes.
So I think those 3 points are very good points to look at. One, there is a law, as the gentleman is saying, because taxes is a lien. The government can in fact take control over the land. So the government could have indeed exercised, which these people who went there forced the government to do what really the law allows it to do.
Thank you.
That's one. The second one with the case of squatters. Evidently, if you go on the land and the owners have made no effort to remove it, then eventually under the law you would have a right to it. And thirdly, a reserve is not necessarily must remain a reserve. We had a case recently in court which proved when there is a reserve, the government can always de-reserve it if the purpose is no longer there.
Then they do it right now.
So, when you have a reserve on the highway as to where they were, that reserve was no longer necessary because the reserve would have been for you to be able to access. But you can access.
Yes.
So
But you could use it. You could use it if you're not doing permanent structures on it. That's why. That's
right.
That's
What
why.
I don't know is that you don't have to have the reserve. You know, they had a case just recently in court, and of course the government lost that case because the point was made that the reserve is there for a purpose. If the purpose is no longer there, then the reserve don't need to be there.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying he was not putting a permanent structure, so there was
right.
no reason to prohibit them from having that temporary use of it, which would not have changed the nature of the land. From what I'm seeing, if they were just going to plant corn.
No, but wide is this buffer?
All right, sorry.
This buffer in some cases was up to 275 feet, and it stretched about a mile on the highway. 1 mile long, 275 feet in some cases, and then it go as low as 100 feet. So some areas it's wide, and then but then the thing, I mean, guys, we clean on this whole buffer. This buffer may have lone black soil, lone bed ready, machines done to cut up the whole place. Beautiful, a whole mile thick soil. They say we ready for plants. Can the lands department came out here Wednesday and met an investor who was working with us, one white man, Mr. Sam from Texas. Mr. Sam come with about 5 tractor and plow and anything there, and the place they look good. Things they go up on this highway. The government they pass every day. They want to know where they go on. That time big year they pick up a stamp. So they can't. Mr. Sam, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm working with Nigel Petit and the guys from Big Year. We're planting corn. Oh, but they don't have the authority and the right to do that. Why don't you come and talk to us? We can work out something. Listen to me now. So Sam called to me, hey, Nigel, we got a problem here. The government saying that you don't have the rights to this land and they want me to go and work with them. Well, they're doing it. But no, he don't realize that they want to try hustle here. And he vexed with them because, man, he had a nice relationship. He liked the movement. He liked the idea that grassroots people could come together and we try to build one community. He said, you know, see that before where he come from. So he proud of it. He love it. And we end up the court, the government may want to take for that. But then my thing here is why the government couldn't embrace the idea. Why they couldn't look at it like Mr. Koyese and Clinton said that.
I think you nailed it.
Yes,
I think you nailed it when you said they saw a grassroots organization
on the rise
together, and it would undermine their control.
I don't want to go against the grain here, but I don't know. Would it have obstructed traffic in any way? Is the
no man
there?
Can you allow me to give you the law? I'm speaking about the law. I have the law. That reserve that was needed was only for the purpose of what they call the verge.
Not say reserve, say buffer. That buffer with the top. Well, that's the same thing you talk about, right?
Could say expansion of road in the future.
No, the law has a thing as buffer. What it has is reserve. That's the law.
Green space. Yep. And then in this case, they refer.
And I change it. The law is that you will use a reserve for the purpose of allowing access. But if there is no need for any access except for the verge means that you have to have a certain amount from what you call the passageway and the road, which one take in. If you want to come off the road, you have space to come off the road.
Yes.
Then you have to put poles. Then you have to put
drain.
Once you cover that distance, you don't need to have 278 feet.
So it was a malicious attack.
Well, I don't know if it's malicious, but evidently it's not something like if somebody wanted to cooperate, because you don't need 275 feet in that area.
Exactly, but none of that, Mr. Koye. What then they tell we now? Then why we leave it in its natural state at the time before I chop it down? I'm a big tall bush cohoon tree, then why we left that content community?
Did they tell you why they wanted that 275 feet?
Well, I feel like later on somebody may end up to own it.
Exactly.
I don't think I could have think about.
You don't need that 275 feet.
Did they give any reason why they don't think? Now, forget who may do none of that. Did they give any reason why they don't think you should plant anything along that area? Did they give a reason? They
said that it's for future road expansion. I tell them, not expand this road right now. That I will understand. You just expand this road. There was no other excuse. They don't have no excuse. They just no one this movement move.
Nigel, was there any other area you have a piece of land there? You chop it up into lots and whatnot. Was there any area for a little farming, something on the back at the
Yes, we have 3 20-acre parcels that we had left reserved. I will label them as parks. We have a Rasta group out there right now where team up with some of the Hispanic farmers out here, and then the plant out there right now. So some of the issues that we face right now are like water during the dry season. We'll try to find a way how to have a permanent water supply in the area. We also have given Harmonyville a portion of water, and they don't come deep in it. And one of the next issue that I find disturbing is that the government of the day have a preferred individual who previously moved to Harmonyville. That individual played a very important role in politics in the Cayo South for their people, and so that person is in charge out here now. Like example, when hurricane passed the other day, part of my house broke down. Nemo come in at my yard, and then they asked me for this individual, and I tell them like, well, I just pity, all right, I got my place broke down to this, that. They say I have to go check this person, and nobody don't take assess me or anything. I just to show you how I was treated with this regard, not only me, but the big year and the whole organization. Here we are the father body where we actually create this movement, and we should have enjoyed a relationship with the government as far as developing this place together. But they want to write us off eventually and then take over this place and make it look like I don't know why we can't work together. Why you can't embrace this thing and say, well, this is big year doings. We want to work together and make sure that the rest of 1,000 people where they are live a better life. I just can't understand.
With all the people you have there now, I don't see they could reverse that. As there, you think there's a move to try to get on off of the place still?
No, none at all, sir. No, everybody have their documents. Some people have titles, some have lease.
Okay.
The government law we already. I'm just saying that they're not really try to work with it. Like there's a portion of Harmonyville that's more developed as far as light and water. And you know how you get light and water in any community, you have to go to some area for somebody through what relationship to get to Wasa. You can't just go to Wasa and tell Wasa send you water for me and light for me. We can't afford that. So area rep have to instruct those utility companies to fix this and do this and that and that we're going on. So they have an area Harmonyville where very much politicized to an extent because you guys know what I'm talking about. The rest of we not got all the access to light and water and anything. They're on a portion away. But they're gone way down in the road. Some people even want water. The water just different and they have the weight. They didn't even sign up for that. And some of who want it bad can't get it. So I'm showing that then they try to show that they in authority, then they try to get the influence politically over the community. So eventually when you say vote this way, vote that way. Come on, gentlemen, y'all know how this thing work. What do you want to do? What do you want to say?
Here, can you tell me what is the population out there now?
Right now, I could tell you we have at least, I'd say at least 600, about 500 to 600 people here. Like I tell you, we have 1,000 1-acre parcel that we gave out. We have, I could say, about 150 families to 200 thereabout, scattered about. They have an area that's more dense and populated now. We have a lot of kids going to school in the morning when they pass the CL and they with the entrance, especially the main one.
Has the area been declared a village? Do you have a
Harmonyville? Last discussions I had was about probably about 5-6 years ago. They called me in and I give them the name of Harmonyville. I show them the mileage that and so they demarcate it, but I don't know if officially. But I put up a time.
What type of housing are they building?
All kind of house there. So house will look like New York.
I'm talking about the value of the.
I was trying to find out your status. Do you have a village council? No. Then what constituency will fall under? That's the last
not yet. We just Cayo South.
Let me ask you, Nigel. Let me ask you to respond to this. And I'm sorry, take it up. But Mario Lara is suggesting that with no development plan, it's very haphazard and will be hard to manage in the long run. There's urban planning. Do you have?
I did see plans for.
Do have a plan.
The development. I did.
Right now, make a survey plan. Our organization, our members, the grassroots members, most of our members, the people where they make that $150 a week, $200 a week. Some of them, it's hard for some of them from even left where they live, Belize City, Danguiga, to come and work on a place every week or every month or every so often because their tight budget already home. Some people couldn't pay the $400 up front. Some had to pay $25 a month to own the place. But our sympathies with our grassroots people, and we insisted that the grassroots people get land here. Now you see some people with some nice houses there. So some people sell their land. Some people end up in a luck. Some people come back from states now and they build on the land. I see some houses that look like New York and South here, and I see some houses that are regular grassroots setting and thing. But I see growth. I see development constantly. They're not at the pace we would have want. Maybe if we had our government or rep to come out here and personally come and say, well, guys, make up. But I don't know. We know we not got a relationship. You know, really.
I think Mr. Lara is making a very, very important point, Mr. Petit, and I think you should try to pursue it. What happens? I hear you mention just now about an open space, and that is a part of what is needed when you are doing
urban
this
planning
kind of development.
Yes.
I think it would be good to try before it takes too long. This is the time now that you already have a place. Try to go for that plan Mr. Lara is referring to, because you need open spaces set for like schools.
Yes,
but they do have those, Mr.
We have
Bowie.
cemetery.
The
We have
land
commercial
is
zone.
allocated. Yeah,
We have
the land
all
is
that.
allocated. The land is allocated and surveyed.
that-
From what I've seen, there are
Sometimes-
areas for different open space.
When
It is.
Was
Go
it done according to the plan?
Yes, this place is surveyed and built according to the plan.
Oh,
Every
good.
space,
So you
the
have a
spaces
plan.
there for hospital, space there for police station, fire station, schools, parks,
Good.
playground, even cemetery.
Fine. Okay, well, I see you're following the subdivision.
Yes, we planned together. We were planning together with the planning department that lands at the time.
That's
so
right.
we got to, according to strip, we call in all kind of people for assessment. I tell you, the problem is financing and the proper people who will come and say, well, man, I could make something out of Harmonville. Harmonville are 1 acre parcels. You know. Nowhere nearby here, people have 1 acre parcels. This is 10 minutes from Bemapan. 8 house lots fit for 1 acre. BL think hard, I light up this place because the one lamppost per lot. You know, one time one lamppost look for service, 20 house lot in one area. The one lot here, you know, so we have become wealthy eventually. We have be people who could take care of ourselves. We plant food. We feel good for we kids. And okay, I know my picking. I could build from a piece of land. Then I have to fight this fight where I had again.
Let me ask you a question. So the idea of this one lot parcel or
1 acre.
1 acre parcel is the intent that people could do their own domestic farming on their own at their.
And let me tell you why.
Land.
I grew up with my parents in Bemapan, and at the time we were blessed enough to get 1 acre parcel of land in the commercial zone of Bemapan, up on Forest Drive. At the time, it was Honorable David McCoy. He was my mom's uncle, and we tried our best to pursue, and he was able to assist us in getting into that zone. And so we were able to build, plant food, cassava planting. We live in a old bus for about 15 years. Ghana High School, living on a whole bus, but that commercial land provided for us food. We were able to, my mom was able to build a really small panelist shop on the side. My pa had his welding shop. And the 1 acre did a lot for us because you had space. Me and my brother had a football field. You know, we grew up together. So that land took us out of poverty.
Yes.
You know, you talk about the Asian guy that left it there. And I know that when Hong Kong was reverting back to China, a lot of Chinese had run away from there and bought property. That might have been one of them. There's a lot. There's a number.
There's a lot in this whole belt right here.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you might have set the precedent for something that can follow after that. But why is government, you think, hesitant in taking this land and redistributing? These
So the other day,
they have not paid taxes.
During the curfew, I had a big event in Cotton Tree. I tell people, get out of the house. You can't tell them about no curfew when you can't feed yourself and you can't pay rent, you don't got no job, then they tell you go swim. You could go swim, but not go nowhere else. And call a farm. So I invite people at Cotton Tree. Over 2,000 people came out there. It was a big, serious thing. I was arrested. I was diverting people's attention to 4,000 acres of land that was sitting there. That 4,000 acres of land was previously owned by some Taiwanese. In fact, previously before that, there was a papaya farm back here that was owned by an individual. Government ended up having to pay back for that about to the tune of $20 million an acre. So I mean $20,000 an acre, bring us to $20 million. That's a thing about that. Anyway, long story short, today some Belizeans own the companies that used to own that own the assets. The Belizeans, they explained that 13 Taiwanese signed over to them, an individual and his son, and they own the companies that own those assets, and not just that parcel of land that stretches from Cotton Tree, the highway to Belmopan, but there's a lot of parcels of land throughout this place that Taiwanese had bought up and then got back in the country because the war, the civil war, the caste war, they look for have end up never happened. So they got back home, but some big, huge land were bought out here. And then now, just in front of us at Harmonyville, there is Santander. I'm going to try to get the 4,900 acres that was in front of us when we got Harmonyville. I made mention to the Prime Minister at the time that we want this too. So he said, try to see what we could do that. Later on, I see Santander end up with the land. I don't know how, but that the people set up about 3, 4, 5 different company, but the different company names, but the same set of individuals, and we were supposed to be able to grab all of the assets the way there people just left because it's the same set of people. But I never understand all of that. I never learned all of that yet. I'm in the focus part, try to get Harmonyville. I was excited about Harmonyville, and then later on I realized that we missed the opportunity at getting all those acreage of land with Cotton Tree thing and all that thing where I can't talk because I was threatened with court action and that kind of thing, but that's some serious thing happen in a high places where some of us don't have certain information to know that a lot of things left for the takes and the grabs. A lot of people left and vacated businesses, assets, and so forth here, and those things are out there. And people do it. A lot of people do some serious thing, affidavit, that kind of thing, for put things in their name. So that's some serious discussions where a lot of we don't shouldn't really understand or talk about or even know it's possible. But I mean, I get threats in a certain areas and I realize, you know what? Certain things I have a careful about.
Nigel, how you feel about the former Prime Minister's statement that lands is a hotbed of corruption?
It's still there's still corruption at Lands Department. There's still corruption in many places and departments in this government. And since you bring it up, I am no fanatic and no political party, but I need to say publicly that I am grateful that the Prime Minister and that government side fit to have put it into our hands the distribution of this land, and today Harmonyville. I don't know about many other governments that would have side fit and say, you know what, make the grassroots people go ahead and do their thing, accept the So,
but it was the same. But it was the same. It was the same government that had stopped you from using the buffer land too, right?
Yes. But I just to say, right?
No, I just want to point out
that was the UDP government.
Yeah, I'm in the UDP, but I mean, I got through the fight that the UDP, I got with all through the fight, which and what's not. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, they say, go ahead and take it.
You get anything, you get it easier. You get any compliance from this government? Has it heated up for you, or has it been better?
Man, I wish it could have been better. I wish it could have been good. We have good then better, right? I wish we could have a better relationship. I'm still hoping that they can understand what we are fighting for. In fact, the current minister once said that you could attack the messenger, but you can't attack the message. The message that's still real. No matter who brings the message is real. It's something that we need to pay attention to. I need to make the government understand that I know the fight they long. I want to bring up certain things that affects us. Like yesterday I mentioned the issue of how long now it take to make we fix this electricity problem. How long will we depending on another country or another man to give we power and dictate to we when and how we can give we. What's wrong with me speaking out that? Why should you feel attacked because I bring that up? And why should other people feel afraid to speak up? I'm trying to encourage my people that this is the only way we want to get certain things done in the country. We have to stop have our leaders feel as though that they're not doing nothing wrong or they're smarter than we or we're not talented. I mean, we have to speak up, and so speaking up is a part of me. I want to speak up, and I'm proud of when I say other people speak up. So
is there more land still around there, you think, that's able to be used by
well, right now, and again, right now I'm working with
don't we have a lot of absentee landowners in Belize?
Yes, we do.
We got that.
We have where the government had to forgive almost $75 million in
$90 million.
Okay.
I'm pissed off and vexed about that move there.
Yes.
Right? And then you know who own land? Who own land with the size and the tax there? You think poor people own land to the tune of $90 million? Who are we giving out that tax release to? Who have so much acres of land that they can't pay for it? Why make a take piece of land since you can't pay for it and you pay your tax to that? Because there's people out there who want land and could pay the taxes. I was pissed off with that move. I still don't support that move. And then we're going to borrow $105 million to build a coastal road at the same time.
Where I'm going to ask you, though, is because we know that the Lands Department was on last week. Then they talk about go to LA, go do a land clinic, etc. in different places. Is there an area maybe where we could attract some people from diaspora, bring them in? Because you say people there also that's building nice houses that's coming home.
Well, we have been working closely with the diaspora. Thanks to Sister Aria Lightfoot, she have had us in New York. We've met with the diaspora there and the business sector. We've been in Miami, where we did the same thing again. We went to Fitzy and we introduced what we offer. We have been meeting with the diaspora and the grassroots people. We have been in LA, so with the same conference coming up in June. We'll be there, I'll be a panelist, and so I'll be there to advise grassroots people, Belizeans in a whole, about investing in land in Belize and trying to encourage our people in a whole to buy back and invest in Belize. So the journey is real. The journey is, I love the different links over the make. I love the idea of being able to reach out and network with our people, and the message continue, because today, I tell you, I'm working with Seba Realty right now, a very reputable organization, real estate company. Seba Realty have made it real easy for me and many Belizeans to own land. Seba Realty introduced the idea of payment plan. Me and Mr. Jonathan Lowe, the owner of Seba, met 3 years ago, and we discussed how I could bring my influence to Seba and how can Seba assist in ensuring that the grassroots people own land. So they took the time out, they understood the needs and wants, and today I'd say at least 2,000 people don't benefit off a land farm. Seba Realty, they're paying $300 a month, and so we did a couple more communities right now. So that thing I'm going to try to do with the government. I was trying to have the government understand where we're going. We could do the chunks of thing about the place. People willing to pay for land, they just want to know that it's legit and I get it. So say about putting roads, we do survey, we're waiting to the government to approve some of their plans. So we'll continue to do things right now. But we're reaching out to the diaspora now, and the relationship is wonderful. I love it. I enjoy the discussions. I enjoy learning how they do things as well, because the other Belize sometimes, so I'm learning the professional side of things.
What would you consider maybe trying to find a way how you can maybe get somebody? I think that the government could do this, to take Harmonyville and let it be what I would say a solar energy city or a solar energy community.
The same buffer.
We are facing a problem with electricity.
Yes.
Evidently, Mexico cannot meet the demand because they have a similar problem over there meeting their demand. So we are not being able to supply with it. Secondly, we do have the hydro, which given the weather seasons is not sufficient.
Yeah.
So I think the government has already made commitment to go to solar. I would think that Harmonyville would be a good
project, yeah.
Solar.
I would welcome all that, Mr. Koyai. I don't know if government would want to work with us, but believe you me, we would want the government. We want anybody in the institution who see us fit enough to partner and work along with. Solar is the way to go. The government have one thing right now with them, they discourage you to an extent, because they tell you have to apply for a license, you have to pay one tax, this, that, to harness the sun's energy. Not only that, but water, you can't just put one vat and one well up how you want. You have to go apply to the government for a license for that. How does grassroots people fit into all of the taxations there?
I didn't know. Stop for a moment, sir. I didn't know you had to get a permit to put a VAT on your property.
Mr. Koyai, could add to that?
I think they start something now, and I think you go get VATs again.
This is a good while. But at least 6-7 years back, I can remember that was a discussion.
I remember that, but I remember some of the concerns about it was water contamination and germ and stuff. But there's also concern about groundwater.
But all we grew up to drink bad water and well water.
I agree. But yeah. I'm saying those are some of the things, and I thought that was unique to the not the government itself, but to the water authority, that had caused that restriction.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I thought it was only in the city. I didn't know it also applied out in the
Nigel,
rural area.
How do you handle the sewer problem up there?
Brother Mario. Good night, Mario. Respect still the man messages. So right now it's not you have to do your own septic. You build your cement septic, you put your soak away. Throughout Belize, most of us are doing that right now. In the future, we don't want to see how we could put together one sewer system and tie in like the states and neighboring countries. But for now, right now, those are huge investments. Like probably later on in the future, I know that Jonathan Law and Saber have been discussing these type of things where we want to build a community that have certain amenities that you are used to, you the diaspora. When you're coming off World War and things there's a sewage sewer system tying, there's a garbage truck coming every Wednesday, every Friday, etc. Those are things we are trying to do right now as a reach, but it's a step at a time.
Mr. Nigel, good evening. This is Lisa.
Good night, Lisa.
Hi. I have one I wanted to make mention, and I wanted to say Mr. Lohr and his family has, they all have made a real vision for Belizeans land ownership at home. And I'm glad that they have invested in us Belizeans, both at home and here. So I wanted to commend him for his vision. And on the other side, I wanted to find out what other steps can your organization take without using an area rep to facilitate a better system to provide all utilities, and that especially of water supply.
One of the areas we were looking at was trying to get some grant proposal and writers and so forth to come in and see how we could target some of the funds where they're out there. There are funds out there for social development, etc., community development. But again, that one effort where the community have to come together, discuss, find people who with certain strengths within us to participate in an areas there. And so that is definitely something we need to work on. The funds are out there, honestly, funds are out there, but we need to put together those plans.
If you put together those plans, I'm sure you could attract some of the Taiwanese and Japan and some of those countries to help you, but it have to be a viable, and it has to be documented, and you have to kind of, like you said, put your plan together, because the money is there. The money is there.
Yeah,
and you could start with small steps in some of those programs.
How big is the property that you took control of in Harmonyville? How big is the area that you said?
1,300 acres.
How much of it is distributed now?
We distributed all in the first instance, 1,041 acre parcels. The rest of the acreage went into roads and green spaces, buffer schools, play stations, police station, etc.
Yeah.
But you haven't sold all 1,000.
Yes, we did. What it did?
Okay.
It was a membership.
But you're saying only 200 families have been.
Yeah, not everybody on the land right now. Not everybody utilize the place, right? But it was a membership-based selection. You came to our meetings, and remember, we never got this thing right away. We need our members. We had meetings every Sunday. We had people come out here, and then you put down your name, you call at the office, you put down your $25, and you continue to pay for it, and that how until you reach 1,040. That's it. We can't collect for nobody else.
Yeah.
So there was no preference.
I remember seeing those programs on the YouTube.
Everything was transparent. Everything was open. There was accountability. We tried our best to show that we could manage ourselves and develop together with our people. I'm still proud of, up to today, I'm still proud of what it is we achieved and what we did. I'm hoping that eventually more of our youths today will look at that model and see how they could capitalize on it and build on it. But we did something that
Let me ask you a question. Is the taxes and stuff that's being paid right now by the people that own those property, is that paid to the government, or is it paid to this trust that you have? And is that money being used to build new infrastructure and expand the infrastructure that's needed?
So all land taxes throughout Belize is paid to the government. Everybody pay property tax, land tax, etc. That you paid tax, the government, period. What you said just now, what you mentioned, Spanish Lookout. They have a Spanish Lookout and Mennonite communities. That what they do. They have two tax. One tax will go for the government, and one tax will go to the community.
Yes.
That community fund is used to build roads, to build churches, to build schools, etc., maintenance, blah, 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 blah.
Like an HOA fee, like an HOA fee.
Right? No, we need to bring for we people to that level. We need to make a serious campaign we have to go through, because we people, I tell the bedroom there, we need to filter out. You need to get the strong people in who are ready to do a constant campaign and get things going, rather than have a bunch of followers and people who don't really understand the vision and just not willing. But it's not easy on the real dealing with own people sometimes.
Let me ask you a question. The people that bought the property, was there a time limit as to when they need to construct, or the land gets returned back to the?
No. That again, that's a very important point that I brought up when I was president of the organization. I said, listen to me. You can't just left that person for own their land for the rest of their life, not do nothing to it, just to sit down there. We want to show that there's a demand and a need for this land, and this land could change your life within the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm telling you guys, make we suggest one time frame. If after 7 years or 5 years or 3 years, you know, do nothing to this land, you know, pay for the title, you know, clean the land, this, that, and I still lease, cancel that, go to the list and members again, and move on. Some of the guys thought that I was being too rough. Some of the guys thought that that type of stick we need to come with, and I believe that the road to need to deal with Belizean, because I'm still of this opinion that our Belizean people are spoiled. Most of the time, our leaders or politicians will allow you to come and say, leader, I need your payment light bill, or you know that they lock up GMZ, please go call the police, or I will call the minister, you know who me by, and a minister cousin, and a minister friend. And so, a lot of the time for we people believe that they could get away with things, they could be dependent, they will wait, they don't have to push. I believe that we need to make things a little bit harder to make you can't buy bolito, you can't buy a noodle, and you can't even buy that $2 weed to make you cool your mind. Then you will start to focus and realize why things rough wrong, yeah, things hard, yeah. I want to make one least slight harder lick into my people just to make them wake up. Because some of them feel like it's all okay for just, he want to come wrong, man, I want to touch me on your shoulder, he know my granny, this, that, minister, that. That was serious thing, you know, gentlemen. The grassroots people mentally controlled.
You ever had ideas about maybe farming a village? Can you do that? You have the size for that? And what are the requirements for that as far as you know?
Yeah, that will follow through what we need to do. We need to go back to the government and tell them, all right, we have one certain number now. We want. I think there's a certain number you have to have. I'm really not sure. I'm a number of residents, and then you dictate your lines, show them that you have your demarcation, you have your borders. Then you go and you register as a village. After that, then you could start to have village council and leaders of the village. I said, all right, now the person with the control here is the area rep and a chair lady from St. Matthew's Village.
So politics definitely got their hand in it.
Everywhere though, that everywhere we noticed that everywhere they got their hand in communities, because that's how they keep their votes. And we better try not to have that happen, and that the politician rather that. So they want to deal with somebody when they could control versus somebody like we who want to stand up and say, no, we don't want to do that, we rather try this, or blah, blah, blah. When you're the politician, that's how they want it, right, Mr. G-Mac?
There's two sides to it. You know, there are those who do it and those who allow it to happen. In other words, the people could say, well, why we not really want to deal with this? We don't want to keep this out of government reach. But as soon as then get the help for them piece of land, a different story. So that is how it happen now.
Let me ask you a question. What are you doing in terms of your structure to try and attract commerce, businesses to the area? Because that is important, and that's one of the ways to ensure development.
So we have one on the plan again. Again, the plan that we took our time and.
No, I understand you have reserve area for those, but I'm saying, what are you doing to actively attract those businesses to the site?
Right now, this whole area, if you pass through Hamiltonville again, you will notice on the highway there is quite a few businesses already to set up. There is tourism taking place in the back, alongside the creek. You have ATV rides, so mini tours and sort of happen already. Okay. But I am still not impressed with the landowners on the highway, because there's most of the people on the highway would have been some of the first guys who were out there, like the closest friends of ours and family members who came out here in the first instance. Why I said that is because when I'm to go around to tell people, hey, you want a piece of land, come out there Sunday, that mile 41 and just chop. People said, for who the land buyer for China, but I just check it. Why you crazy? I know the call. That the people closest to you most of the time would have been the ones who supported and went out there on the ground. So we were the ones who were able to grab one piece by the highway. I got a piece on the highway. Some of my bedrooms and some other people have on the highway. By now I thought should have already been developed to an extent that it looked better than its natural state than how it is. And those were some of the lots that I have expected that they may capitalize on and say, all right, we'll set up a little business, we'll do this and that. But I guess to each his own, there's only so much you could do. You could carry a man to the well, you know.
Well, you do need to set up entrepreneurship programs then, because sometimes people can't see the advantages of it, and so it tells you that there need to be other workshops and organization grouping that you need to set up to kind of foster that type of enterprise thinking.
The leadership, all these things that you're pointing out, the leadership needs to come together first and understand the importance of these first. When I say the leadership, the leaders of Harmonyville, again,
you're not in charge anymore?
I am not in charge in Harmonyville anymore. I'm just a member here, a resident here. I did my time already. Currently today, I am working in Cyber Realty, building communities throughout Belize right now at affordable rates, social programs. That's what we're doing. Where I'm on my 4th community right now with Cyber Realty that we're building. Starting as low as $5,000, you could have one acre of land with me. You not got the 5,000 up front. You take your time and pay $275 monthly, etc. So I'm still doing what I could do. Given the fact that I don't own land, I don't know the government, I can't just take land and give you, but I could try my best to sell it cheaper than $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to the man who wanted to make $150 a week, $200 a week. He could never ever own a piece of land. So I'm not with Harmonyville anymore as anybody in charge. I am still friends with the leaders in charge and so forth. I hope that
how do they get their leadership? How is their leadership?
Well, after I vacated, first of all, when we started the organization, given that it was my idea, I was the first person who came up with the idea. I was labeled as president, and then I was able to select a board of individuals who started the journey with me along, being close friends too. At that, for at least relationship to the magnitude of 20 to 30 years we've been together, and so we were able to form this organization together based on our strengths. Each person was given a certain position. Later on, I left the organization, and today currently Mr. Barnett is in charge along with the other directors. So there's still a previous board except me.
I see.
I think
are there any rivers or waterways in that area?
We got a nice creek in the back. We are bordered by that creek actually. It's called the Beaver Dam Creek. So you end up right back over the highway, one bridge there where the creek run under. Portions of the year it gets dry, so within the next month it start to get dry, and then a month and a half later, the 2 months, get full again with the rains. But it works wonderful. People benefit off it. A lot of people go swim there, wash their clothes. The ATV have a little strip when they carry tourists and people were running along it, apparently motorcycle thing and so. And so things that happen slowly. It will happen. It will come true. But again, some of the stuff that you point out, the different programs and entrepreneurial movements that we should be doing, I really believe that the members, the leaders in charge need to come up and strategize again. We did that in the first instance, and we've been able to execute everything when I was the leader. All that we set out to have done, we have done. So that what I still believe that one of the main things the organization needs to focus in is roads. Build more roads, build roads, build roads, build roads. What I did when I was leader, while we were strapped for cash, there were some individuals who needed material to do other roads and so forth, or follow up whatever. And we have our own quarry. We have materials here at Harmonyville. So we traded material for road. Take so much material and build so much road for we. And so I see the guys doing it now and again, but not every time people want material right in us here. So while we have a nice quarry there, we have to find a way to hire the machinery because we have the material. That's the main thing. We have the road material, very good pine ridge material here, but the organization need to strategize as to how they get monies from their members. When I was there, we had a membership thing where I'm only $25 a year. I think now it should be $25 a month and make the members understand what that one do so that they could get the place more developed. But we have the resource here. We just need to strategize.
Financially, would you say that it continues to be managed properly? In terms of
yes, usually when you hear things about money, so you end up in the open. So by now, if anything may go wrong there, you may hear that in the open. The brothers have a good relationship. They have a guy, well respectable and reputable, Miguel Usher. He's in charge of the financials and the banks and so forth. He's been doing that countrywide. So that's in good hands. And the other brothers are still advocates and grassroots leaders who command respect just based on their approach many times. So I know they still have something good going on. Like I tell her, I moved on, and I am satisfied with what I have been able to accomplish while there as president. And today I am quite satisfied with what I am doing now.
Talk to us about the realty firm where you work with. I thought you said several realty firms, but you said the name of it is Cyber, SCBIA. Yes.
That's right, after the tree. Cyber Realty and Development is from outer Santa Elena, owned by Jonathan Lohr. He's a Belizean. talk just like me. The man have a passion for grassroots people as well. And 3 years ago, he sent a message, Nigel Pitio, can we meet? I went to his office in Santa Elena. He told me he has been following what I've been doing for quite some time. But one of his concerns too is, will we go around the country and just start a squat on people land? And so as a realtor, somebody who manages other people's land and so forth, that was a valid concern of his. Nigel, will you continue encourage people to go around the country and just squat on people land? Some people own their land and maybe they're not ready to work on it, but give you the right. Well, I had a different approach and response to that. However, he said, what? So make we find a way to equip people at land so that this thing don't get out of hand and get worse. And so we sit down, we strategize, we throw out certain prices, and I tell her, well, certain prices grassroots people can't afford none at all, but they would be willing to work at this price. And again, we don't might have the money up front, but we do take payment plan. And so after that meeting done, he called me back about 2 weeks later. He tell me he have some land, make a look pan, and which one do you think is more suitable for this community? And so we looked at some land that he had at mile 36, which is today called Sagana Heights, community where we just done build. And we offered 1 acre parcels to any Belizean who want a parcel of land at $5,000 we started at. And again, if you're not got the 5,000, take your time and pay. And so
is this 5,000 Belize dollars?
Everything that Belize, when we talk that Belize with the talk.
Not always.
Yeah, that's how I talk now. And I kind of confused sometimes. I don't know why people are going to say US. I don't know US. Why never say Melchior peso?
Well, you say you had other plans because you never really, when the man asked you if you go around the country and squat and any land will find vacant.
Yeah.
Those are other plans that you would have had. Would you?
So that's not my plan. I'm done upon that. I'm done upon say, all right, President set already, make I go in the country now, equip my people with land and the knowledge. And so I'm done start to do that already. And that's when the concern came in and he was like, man, make me sit down and talk and see how could this, a better fashion and manner. And I want to tell you straight up, working in cyber reality, it have taken away all the frustration, all of the unnecessary back and forth to government and get locked up and treated as if though I were a criminal. The company is very resourceful and knowledgeable of this whole thing. They are then about 22 years now in the business. They understand the back and forth of land. I the land lot of thing for them right now.
So you just try to get land for grassroots people. That way to say.
That's right. At a price that we can afford.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about just step back at Harmonyville. Is there any areas that's just like reserved in its natural state? Is that planned or is it all intended to be developed in some way?
Those three, like I told you, there's 3 20-acre parcels. There's one that's being utilized as for agriculture between the brothers. There's one that has the quarry that I just told you about, the materials for the road. So we left that plan that we don't want nobody one that we don't want nobody tamper that. So we used a whole 20 acre to cover that and some other parts of land are there. So a whole huge corridor.
When you dig a quarry, after a while it becomes unseemly.
We have fish to grow in there right now, and then the agriculture and tomato and onion and all that. Just today I passed one man to carry water, to pump water to his farm. So it works well. That worked out well for we too. We have water.
That's what I wanted to see, how it was going to be utilized after that environmental disaster is created, possibly.
Mr. Nigel, just a quick question. How is it with the schools? How are the kids with the small community you have now? Where are they going to school? Are there small stores or mom and pop shops in your area? Like, tell us a little bit about what Harmonyville is as present.
First of all, I really appreciate your concerns, man. Your concerns are very valid. Those are some of the concerns we wish our government will come with, because that you are very concerned about the smallest people here, the kids and so forth. And so while we don't have our schools yet, we are between Cotton Tree and St. Matthews. There's 1 mile to Cotton Tree on our left going to Bemapan, and a half mile to St. Matthews. No, actually 2 miles to St. Matthews where the school is located. So there's busitos, there's school bus rides the government provide in Akayo South. Those students are going on these buses to the schools 1 mile away or 2 mile away. And so it works. We don't have one school here yet. Also, as far as internet and so forth, we have internet here right now, but the people have to pay their own individual internet. We're not going to hotspot as such, you know. But most of the stuff those are stuff that the community we have to come together and try look into and see how eventually how I leave from here today. But you see, when we were tying in with Mr. Sam, the man I tell you, man, that was the type of relationship that we wanted to build. But the government discouraged you. The government come make it look like, that was going to really hype up this place. Money's man, make Ireland, the next 40 acres of land that is reserved where I tell you the parks, that was included in the agreement as well.
Let me ask you. So the reserve area that they had was in proximity to Harmonyville that you are going to be utilizing?
Yeah, yes, it's on Harmonyville's land. It's just in front of us on the highway. It's what separates us from the highway. Well, huge pile of land, 250 feet wide, 1 mile long, a bush.
Well, it's a new government. You could approach them again and see what the decision is. Isn't that an option still on the table? The first time you knock on the door and they don't open the door doesn't mean you don't go back and knock again, especially if it's new people behind the door.
Have you scrapped the plans? Do you still envision corn being planted on that buffer?
Like I tell you, me personally, I'm not in a leadership position anymore, but I think it's something that we should definitely go back to and discuss. While this government was in opposition, they came to many of our rallies. They supported us. The current Minister of Lands came out while I was being crucified by the government, came to my aid, stood with me and told me that when he gets into government, he's going to marry me and put me to work. Many a times we get any promises there, but they're not going through right now. You have to get the man by phone, but I mean...
welcome to the club.
Mr. Nigel, who really is the area rep for Cayo South?
The area rep is Mr. Julius Espat. He has been doing, I could tell you, based on what I'm seeing, and again, I tell you, I don't know, party fanatic, Mr. Julius Espat has been doing a lot as far as roads, maintaining these highways. Thank you for that, but I want to do something for Harmonyville. I want to put at least 2 roads there. I see Cotton Tree Galata Road, I see St. Matthews very quick. All these villages, extra.
You're talking about roads. If you were to identify a few of the priorities that you'd like to see happen right now for Harmonyville, what would those be?
I want they put in the roads all those roads that ties us into the creek. And that road that runs along the creek side, we have a road, there's a buffer between the creek and the road. You understand me? 66 feet.
They say put in electricity and water and they'll come.
Why? And again, we fight for that, we beg for that. But BL came to us about 5-6 years ago, and the European Union was willing to fund a percentage of electricity here. First, when BL came to us, they made an estimate and told us we need $4 million to put electricity at Harmonyville. I tell them, I don't really want to go to the media and tell them, want to just tell me. I mean, you want to look my grassroots people and tell you need $4 million for us to put up the infrastructure for you to charge us monthly afterwards. I don't like $4 million that we don't have to pay again. So they called me back 2 weeks later and they said the European Union will fund it. And so that how we got quarantine our percentage of community right now. We did an ad for them, endorsing the whole arrangement, and we were grateful for that. But however, they're not proportionately.
What percentage of the space have it right now? Have electricity and water? What percentage? 5%? 10%?
I would say about probably 15 to 20% of Harmonyville have light. That because not all of Harmonyville is populated. But there's a dense area, a very heavily populated area that gets most of that. And I can understand, I see that, I appreciate that. And that again, the Belizean grassroots man, the free black brothers, they no one make sacrifice and build one chop and eat Picado for God of the Hinland. My Hispanic brothers and sisters come there and chop and eating, put wood on the shoulder and go build that type of people I love, I work with, I am inspired by their ways and ethics, but we the wait for them build a road, we the wait for them bring water. Boy, dig one hole in the ground and get water, put one zinc and get some water, my boy. Try to teach your people in that, but there are people out there where they are between, we were trained to be spoiled and wait till leader come and say, I bring road for you, I bring light for you. Come on, man, that one mentality, one thing where it's hard to fight. No, we come from a colonial system where the master said when it happen, master said when you are getting, master said when you become. We are very obedient people, you know. Belizean people are going to lash up on the government. That's why when you see we were labeled as radical, they're not used to their sons and their kids and their fathers out there to stand up to government and say, hey, no, shut up.
I mean, talk about 66-foot buffer between the
Along the creek.
waterway.
Yes.
Then enforce that.
Sadly, government not enforce many things around this country, and then not come back and investigate that and watch that. So sometimes some people just fence it off. Other San Pedro, you can't walk the whole beach side anymore. You know, you have to go up on the street, then go back on the beach, Placenta, all about the place. But we don't have inspectors. We never got an inspector right now. The land department for go show you a land that you just applied for or paid for.
Yeah, but I don't know, because that's 66 feet. I'm thinking, done well with that, Joe. What you know about that?
No,
Because
they have that. That's in
That's
law.
important.
well, I don't
That's
see
very
that.
important.
Listen. They got one area back there at the Caribbean shores where they build all them big houses right
Yeah.
on the seaside. I don't
Yeah.
see no 6 feet there.
Yeah.
Certain areas do not apply to G-Mike. You know that, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, but it has to apply across the board. I hear you.
But who
Nobody should own the beach. That's
who
in
allows
the law.
it? And what
That's in the
sector
law.
of our population
Yeah, but-
allows that?
So what I'm saying, if you don't enforce that in one area, you can't enforce it in no other.
Yeah, and that will happen right now. But again, I'm glad you brought that up, G-Mac, because if I was to ask government to do something for Harmonville, or do a road for Harmonville, I would want them to build that road along the creek and come out right back to the highway, because we are going to make some money alongside that creek. We are going to set up booths, we are going to set up cultural tourism stops, one Maya stop, one Hispanic stop, one Garifuna stop, one Indian stop, one Chinese stop along the way, see how they live, see how they plant their food, see how they this, that. But that again will grow we as our people, and for some reason I don't see why you don't want to embrace that, Mr. Government. Why you can't come and sit down with we and listen to we ideas and say, all right, this song would make we do it. No, you have to be you. And then when you come out of government, here they want to do your thing. They want to scrap the plan and they want to start a new plan. They happen over and over. You guys all are me, you know, every single one, I don't know what it is. You have been seeing these things happening for quite some time, and then on one time sit down and tell them about it, yeah? You know it happened.
Mr. Nigel, with all of that being said, this is your opportunity right now. If you know, a lot of people watch this show, and I'm sure they're gonna clip it and send it to the area rep, to the Minister of Lands.
And the people are getting vexed all over again. No, I never know that was it.
They're not going to be upset with you, because what you're saying is something that is for your livelihood. It's the livelihood of your community. So I would like you to take this opportunity and like, you know, Chairman asked us now, if you wanted something really essential in your community, what would you like? Maybe perhaps this would be your platform for them to hear you.
And I'm glad you bring that up. Mama Mia, you need to meet soon. I just love your concerns. I make a talk about that same road again. You know why that singular action I would rather? Because you create revenue. Yeah, make individuals in here make their own money, and we'll be able to, in return, tax their little businesses as a community and say, go and buy, you want to maintain this road, you want to maintain this, that, you want this, that, you have to pay something to the community, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, encourage our people to pay back, but they need to have ways of making money out here as well. We don't have to get up that morning, 6 o'clock, catch on bus, and reach back home 7 o'clock, 8 in the night. They pick them with the steep on the left, they pick them the steep when they come home. So, I would rather that road, because that one singular action would create revenue in our way, in our manner. You can't believe it, because of the creek itself, the creek side, people come and go to a creek. I went to a creek side the other day, in fact, said they were in charge of $10 to enter Agua Clara, and the amount of people were down there just to enter and use the river. We could do that in Harmonville. We could set up golitos, marathons, football, baseball. We could get concerts, that kind of thing. But we need certain infrastructure where at this point right now, we would need somebody to come and understand, or sit down with me and understand how we could get it done. We have the resources here as far as the material to build the road. We need the machinery. We need some financing. We need some assistance. We want the government to say, here we go, man. Say I need or when I send with professionals from public work company. We need one of money. Come with your professionals, bring your machinery, and come help we build this one road here. And find out what
you have sporting facilities there. You got like a football field. You got,
we got a football field, and then again, one of the park that I told you we have reserved is designated for football, basketball, all that thing. One big racetrack, everything. That's the future again, but we need finance for that thing. But that is there reserved for that.
Okay. Well, I will say this much. I guess Mr. Julius Espat, wherever you are tonight, please contact Mr. Nigel Petillo. His community needs a road serviced in order to get them to livelihoods for their children and for their future.
Nigel,
Yes,
we know that mile 41 band. Is that out of Harmonville too?
Harmonyville, we made that band, we created that band together. Oh yes, yeah. Love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah. Say that.
I guess singing is not your top notch, huh?
I think your headphone doesn't work, my brother. But that was one of our hobby growing up, man. We grew up again, like I tell you, me and all those brothers, we grew up tight in Belmopan, because at the time in Belmopan, there was one public school, one public football field, one public basketball field, one church. I mean, one community, one tightness. The richest picnic and the poorest picnic at the same class. We grew up tight together. So we met tight at the time there. And music, number one, we think growing up, we tried all kind of bands, and later on in Harmonyville, we made sit down one night and we said to ourselves, guys, I think we want space now. We could play with music all we want, and nobody make noise, make we set up a band. And we set up a band, my father, when I was the manager and one of the lead singers. Actually, I'm very good at singing when I catch me one of these days. And
I was just messing with you. I
was out promoting, selling shirts, giving away shirts, and today, up to today, my father, one name is out there and still known, but I've moved on. I singing can't really pay me and send the kids to school. It's a hobby. I rather just take my time and go karaoke now and again. But I'm focused at doing the developments with Seba Realty right now.
What about personal and protection safety from the police, and how is that handled, and what are there any particular issues within the community?
We don't have no problem with the police individual per se. The police get instructions from the leaders. Many of the police come to me before they arrest me and say, Mr. Peter, sorry, man, I know I support you. But I mean, that's the big man. Carry me in, man. I know. I tell you, the policeman, man, the policeman, frustrated that he can't get time off to go to land every day because you go to land on one day. You want to beg your boss for a day off. They might give you a day off, forget the day off. You do hope that you get things done. You go to land, you might even see nobody and tell you come back tomorrow. You can't get tomorrow for sure. Let's say you do get tomorrow then. Tomorrow's still not enough. So a lot of people don't got time for go to Lands Department. Lands Department that want to show off. Lands Department is frustrating. Lands Department not designed for you. Lands Department that for the man that could make a phone call and go in our back door for reach the office where you need to go. I don't know that too. So not making it look like I'm provocative here. I'm telling the truth, and that is one of the problems that holds back the grassroots man, because I can't pay one taxi and one bus for go to Belize or Belmopan where I come from PG chorus, all this, that. Why is it that we can't have a network by now? When they speak up for the past 10 years about they have built a network where you can just go to your respective constituency or community, apply at the local lands department, and that's one the network will bring it to Belmopan. That doesn't work. Right now, it's a hot mess. You don't even know there's duplicates for land title. Why? We need a transparent system.
You mentioned earlier about the Spanish guys and we cut the picado and go get in sticks and what
that's
right. You have a Spanish group. What's the makeup, the ethnic makeup of the people that live there?
Most of the people in that area that I spoke about that have most of the attention of the Arabs and so is they actually when I came out here, squatting out here, I met at least 2 families living out there. Already squatting. I came and I asked questions where they go and then say, well, some Chinaman no they are, and so then just to cut right now, it's the Chinaman come and tell them go then go. I said, well, not going nowhere. I want to take peace too, and I started invite people. And I end up take over the whole place. Take leadership and say, all right, I started instruct people to just chop. I never get no permission for no wait, but I just know that if you work the land and together a lot of way, just not back down when government or police come to stay right there. That was the whole intention at work. However, most of the people in that area, they may don't name for them portion of their community Villanueva. So when you have Villanueva, but I started telling them, you can't do that, man. You can't have a community within a community this place in Harmonyville, and that's why I insisted on putting the signs there. So we have 2 signs that speaks of Harmonyville's
Are you living up to the name? Is there harmony in Harmonyville?
Oh yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Everybody work together.
The police come around. Is there?
No, like I said, the police. We don't have police issues out here. Police problems out there, and even got nobody thief nothing out here. We had an issue where a young man kill one man over something. I know I still don't understand it, but some people call the communities well enough. I need that. And issues come and problems come with them. But we don't have that problem. We have a section of Harmonyville that we have given 60 acres to the police. We give 40 acres to the BDF and 20 acres to the Coast Guard at the time, so that they could have shared up amongst themselves. There were certain criteria: junior officers who just get married and not have no land of their own yet, senior officers who they don't own no land yet, and we put certain criteria to make sure that certain people get it, And so we worked with those forces. We showed them that we are concerned at the fact that it's frustrating to make them go to the land department back and forth and try to make it easier for them.
Did some people take you up on the offer? Did some of them come in and
Yes. Yes, they all had to pay. Most of them, some of them work in the land, some of them are absentee, some of them get transferred to Halakte,
Yeah. So nothing came out of the idea to make sure if they don't do something in a certain period of time that they would have to.
No, some of the guys were sympathetic to the idea and said by some of we people can't do this to them, and so you have to go with the flow. And like I said, I'm elected, but had I stayed, I would have insisted and showed them the reason why, because we need the space to develop. We need to show why we're going to take our next land and do this again, because the result is clear. But if you have a community where more than in this case down about 20% of it is actually developed, there's no demand, there's no need, there's no rush to have one next something like this. Better just go at the government pace. But I'm saying we as a people need to understand that we have something going on. Build on this something. Continue, extend to the rest of the country based on the precedents that we have going on already.
What would you like to see from the diaspora, says Mr. Mario Lara? Is there an opportunity for Belizeans abroad to invest and earn a return? Maybe deposit to a credit union fund that makes microloans?
All right. Respect again, brother Lara. Very good idea. We have a lot of people here who have land titles. That land title could be utilized as a collateral.
Yeah.
Right? You could come to this. They could even go to DFC or in the bank and so forth. But what the good idea with where Lara suggested just now is that many of our people can't go to the bank because they don't have one steady job. They don't got one signature when they could get. They might have a title, but the bank not just want to take the title. The bank want to say, one revenue, one income. How can you pay me back this 3,000 or this 5,000 or whatever? What I think one of the main thing here is how do they access fund, but how do they pay it back? That's so that not everybody can access it. But if we could find a way to make people utilize that collateral land paper there and make them know, all right, based on your income, I think you're fit enough to get 1,500 or 1,000. But again, what are you going to do with that 1,500? What you want to do with that 1,000? So I want to have certain criteria in place to make sure they're not just waste that money to go to a concert or just make we talk about people and not afraid for criticizing areas that needs to be strengthened.
But the bank might wind up to own most of the property.
Well, in that case, Mr. Lara is suggesting a credit union amongst the community, I believe, not the bank, not those people who come and not have no sympathy for you. I believe if the diaspora would to say, all right, they want to build this body and this trust, and you want to use your collateral and talk to this trust, the trust in somehow could say, all right, I don't know, but structure it in a way that you don't have that they class and they grip like the banks.
Go ahead, Mr. Cowie.
When I heard of you first, as this man that was taking lands, I thought it was a good idea, not in the sense of taking the land, but I'm looking at it now from a broader perspective. I thought at the time that area of Harmonyville could have been seriously looked at by the government, and everything from there right to Belmopan to become areas of developed areas. Yeah. Because what is happening to Belize, and we need to think about this seriously. Belize with a 400,000 people now, the size of the land we have, one of the big drawbacks to Belize was the sparseness of the population. And it created a heavy overhead on the administration. It continues to. The amount, if you take Barbados, far smaller than Belize in land area, but about the same population, it's easier for the administration because they bring the economies of scale. No, what I like about the idea was that you were making lots not less than an acre, which was very good.
Yes.
So to me, what was needed from thereafter was to develop towards industrialization from the land of the 1 acre. I saw a project done by Bhagwati. This is an Indian economist. Did something similar, where they got land for the Indian people of those size, but created industrialization that they could have worked from their land, their 1 acre land. But at the same time, you don't want to be spreading all over the place, because if you go to another area to create another, come to the overhead cost would be too high.
Yeah.
So what I thought we could have done was to take what you had started and follow up with those 1 acres. Let me give you a quick comparison. I don't want to talk too long, because others want to come in. If you take Belize City, the average lot, the bigger lot in Belize City is 75 by 100. That's 7,500. 1 acre is about 5 times that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to me, an acre,
Wonderful.
if anything, it could have been more rather than less. But the acre was a good idea. And I think this country have enough land. And if the people can have that size in those areas, you can springboard the industrialization of this country.
Well, the basic needs is food supply, right? So we could start on that, trying to be self-sufficient in some of our basic food and resorting back to some of our native food and stuff.
Joe,
you would prove that there are certain. Remember, 90% of the world, where the world produce, come from agriculture. 90%.
Yes.
No. You have certain products that you can grow. And then they talk about those things like cane and whatnot. You can't go.
No. I'm talking about.
You have certain things like peppers and other cash crops which you can grow.
Vegetables and stuff.
Right.
Yes.
And the area where you industrialize, where people are working. That's what people want, to be able to work. They want people dignity and self-esteem come from being able to look after their families. That's what they need, dignity and self-esteem. They want to be able to earn their living.
Mr.
So
Corey?
I would end on this note, Mr. Petio. You have started something. Make sure you take it beyond. I would say, try to begin to get the political director, because they have to be involved. And they have to think seriously how to move Harmonyville now, as the seed that was planted by you, and to take it and to work towards Belmont Pond.
Yeah.
Mr. Corey, I'm glad to bring that up, and I want to add to that. And first, again, I wish you mean a government. I wish we had a leader who would have felt this way and embraced the whole idea of the movement. While we were planning and designing this community, we made set aside 175 acres of land, one plot of land that may be, that we were going to use as for our cooperative. We may want to tap into agriculture. We may want to tap into the Caribbean. The government discouraged us. The government said, no, we don't want this. In fact, the government gone further and suggested, why you not block the 1 acres into quarter acres so that more people could get. I said, no, it's not about more people. It's about to insist that this amount of people are being taught and learn, a different mindset now and grow up. So, I see this set of people are no speed bump to beg for no money or no donations or anything. So we insisted on the 1 acre because the 1 acre was billion. The government not embracing things. That's why all you're saying here, Mr. Koye, we need a minister who don't think so when it in a power.
Well, we're going to show you something, Mr. Petio. I want to come in for right now. You see that piece of road when we are building to Mountain Pine Ridge for 138 million?
Yes.
That road was not needed to take us just for tourism. Tourism is very vulnerable. That 138 million.
Yeah.
Half of that, or more than half, could have been invested in the same thing we're talking about right in that area.
Yep.
You know what could have done to the industrialization of this country? And where people would be working on their own land at home. From at home. And
look at
nothing new. This is not Joe Coy vision. This is a vision of other countries that did it.
I have to tell you, I went on that road a couple of weeks ago and I loved the road, boys. So I went up to Rion Pools. Amazing, that road there, and I think at some point we will need it. So that could be for another topic. But
most of the time when they build those roads that goes to nowhere is because somebody's getting paid off.
For us to discuss. That's why sometimes to me, the topic is important in the sense that how a government allocates its resources.
Yes.
You have a beautiful road and it looks nice to drive on.
Yeah.
But ask yourself,
the need.
Was that the best return you could get for that investment?
Yes.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah, well, it's funded and they may spend the money anyway, somewhere, you know?
I strongly disagree with you, Mr. Chairman. That's not the way to develop countries.
Yeah.
All right.
You
all right.
put a
Anyway,
burden. You put a burden on
Nigel,
you put a burden on the
Nigel,
taxpayers.
Yeah, you say you're no longer there again. If they ask you to come back, would you return to that
He's
presidency?
on his own. He's on his own private enterprise now.
Let me answer that question.
He's making money
That
now.
question was that question was directed to me.
Yeah,
I'd like to answer that question.
Serious. You know what is happening to us?
Listen to me.
What Mr. Petit was saying earlier had some truth to what he was saying.
Yeah.
What is happening to us? We don't want to participate the way we should. But I want to leave it at that.
Go there, Nigel.
If I was given the opportunity to be a part of the leadership of Harmonville again, I definitely would. Let me tell you, Harmonville is very dear to me. Harmonville gave me a voice, made me into the man who I am today. Harmonville taught me a lot politically, as far as building networking, working with other people. I learned different personalities. So I would definitely want to. Harmonville need one strong voice. Harmonville need one strong leader. Harmonville needs organizing. I did that. I was doing that. I hate to have to say that when I left Harmonville, many of the things that I would have expected to see through the strength of the balance and the structure that we had in place, I don't really see. I see they came up with ideas of the whole could work together as they had to work in Syndicate every weekend. They would go to somebody else's property and chop and build and plant and so forth. I like that. But I believe that we need to attack certain institutions, attack certain issues that publicly we're supposed to access. And so we need a strong voice. While these guys today are working together as a community and doing certain stuff, the government responsible for a lot of things that we're supposed to get out of the government. We are taxpayers right now. So if I get the break to go back to Harmonville, knowing what I know, the experience I have, the voice that I have, I know that when I talk, I have influence out there. I would want to utilize all that and see how I could give back to Harmonville. I want to live here for the rest of my life. This property will be passed on to my kid, and this is my legacy as well. I am one of the persons who want to that.
Let me leave you with this, Brother Becoming. Every country in this world, every developed country, the United States, Germany, Britain, every one of them went through a process where it was the government that springboarded the development of them here. And I don't see why we should not look more to government to put its resources where they should be put. The previous administration said that they will make infrastructure the mantra. It's used that word, the mantra, the government. How can you put infrastructure ahead of human resource? Why build these lot of expensive highways out of cement and different things, $1 million, when really they were not necessary at this point?
But is it either or can it be both?
No, you cannot have both. You cannot.
Listen, throughout Latin America, we have what you call the agrarian revolution.
It's a case of allocating of resources, limited resources. You have to know how to allocate it. Roads, you have to build roads, but why were we building so many roads? The truth about it, ask yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's unnecessary roads and the same contractors over and over too.
It's a hustle. It's a hustle.
That's right.
All of that I understand. But I don't say that you don't need the roads, because
no, you need it. You need
yes,
it, but the allocation of it.
For example, let me tap in here. Arthur Saldiva once pitched the idea of the Gladden Road or something, but he was talking about building a highway throughout the coastal of Belize, just like Chetumal and Mexico and the place there. You drive through your coastal plains, Tulum and the place. So tourism and agriculture is impacted by that road. The road are not just one road where we spend £135 just for drive pan. Your drive pan plus it has business potentials along the way.
That's right.
That's the type of roads we're supposed to focus on. Now, an unnecessary road through Pine Ridge where they're just for tourists and go to what is you could do at Pine Ridge? It's not good for agriculture. Yes, there are certain results and so forth, but before we build the next road, make we come together and say, where should we strategically build the next road? Right now, we'll talk about building a bridge between Belize and Mexico.
Listen.
Allocation of limited resources is the key to your development.
Come back in the government, Mr. Koi.
We're going to talk about also how we could relate to the Belize issue and the Middle East, the Israeli model. The Israeli model where they got that. Hold on. Excuse me. I know where to go on it. Maybe we could appeal to diaspora to come in and develop something like Harmonville, an area, build a new city, if you will, where they could come in and enjoy the amenities that they used to abroad. I'm just saying that maybe that model, that's something we could look at and you say there are already some people who are investing in Harmonville from the diaspora. Maybe we could expand on that, don't you think?
Yeah, what the diaspora could do. Get on yourself together, one number. How much I know? All right, we got 1,000 people here right now in our unit. Each person will come up with $1,000 each, to $1,000 US each. And go shopping for land here. There's land out here that you could get cheap when you buy acreage. You go buy 1,000 acres of land, you might pay 1,000 Belize an acre. Right now, I could tell you about 1,500 acres on the coastal next to Gales Point for sale right now, from the highway to the water, the lagoon. Why the diaspora don't understand that? All right, you know, if you organize yourself to an extent, yes, I see the same names over when you talk about diaspora. Some of you that right here right now, Lara, Lightfoot, you guys are the same names you see over and over pushing diaspora. But where are the rest of the diaspora members who really understand that we have an important role to play here? You guys are the exposed, experienced, educated Belizeans. You are the one who gone abroad and learn this and see things in a different light. Most of we people are still illiterate. Sorry if you said so, but make we talk the truth, man. That's why they follow behind politics and so on, just not care for and dance with a flag. You guys are exposed, you guys are experienced, you don't know about bullshitting, you don't know what we have to cut out and what we have to do. Let's start with organizing from the diaspora, because we tried something here that's not working. The influence the politicians have over our people. People get vexed with me because politicians vex with me. You don't even know me personally, but because you're here, you don't like me. You don't like me?
You talk about Belizean culture. But we're out of time.
I'm talking to you guys now who are exposed, experienced, qualified, know where they go on. To come and make we organize this thing, because next thing if we Belizean people, when you come here, you look like you really high tech and you this, that, and you really smarter. We ready to make authority take over. We want somebody lead. That's why people want to be led. Belizeans want to know that, boss, I did you correct? Boss, what else? What are the next move? Belizeans want to be supervised and taught. So you guys have a very important role to play. You could come and help organize here. Not just sending the money and then because sometimes the money just get back and stop at one place. But example, we're talking about Harmonville right now. You guys understand the structure to a certain extent, understand the fight, and understand what should be the next move. You guys are suggesting so many things to me right now that I should have been write down anything right now. But again, there's only so much me could do. I just told you that I'm tied up with Cyber Reality right now. Yes, Harmonville are my baby. I love it. I am not really in the leadership role right now. Maybe we need to go sit down with the leaders of Harmonville. Maybe Harmonville could talk to you guys in the diaspora and say, how we can invest together.
Chronics can't do it alone. Listen.
Can't do it alone.
Thank you very much. Nigel, you bring a lot of energy to the show. Thanks for being with us, man, tonight, man. We have to do this again soon all the time.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys.
Lisa, thank you very much. Respect every time. And remember that the show starts next week, Wednesday at 6 with the young man, Mr. Brasta from UB and some other young people. I think that'll be interesting. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, guys.
Thanks again.
We're out of here. Respect. Good night, NCY.
Yeah, Alicia.
Yeah.
Truck.
Money is not the root of all evil. It's love of money. That's the root of all evil. Righteous or no, vibes live. Everything come and bevel. Keep a close eye on the devil. Higher state of consciousness will revel. Papa Curry, here we tell the people. Pounds and pence, dollars and cents. Most important sense, the common sense. But enough man thinks, they don't know the difference. Fake and fly, them have to pay the consequence. You have pounds and pence. dollars and cents. Most important sense that common sense. But enough man dense, don't know the difference. Fatal fly them up to the very consequences. Say grass greener, but the next side of the fence. For a few dollars more, and place them like let it make them robbing the middle of them sister, them friends, and them parents. Yet them still content. Fool no know about the dog, but they got the bone for the shadow. For the rest of the life, me hope them make it in a sorrow. Don't make me catch the beg, the plea, the cry, the drive barrow. They have to check with you tomorrow. Pounds and pence, dollars and cents. Most important sense, the common sense. But enough man dense, they don't know the difference. Fatal flaw, them have to be the consequence. You have pounds and pence, dollars and cents. Most important sense, the common sense. But enough man dense, don't know the difference. Fatal flaw, them have to be the consequence. $1 million and one way if we make $1 million. Bongo get no need for this stand up on no street corner. Like a junko, like a vulture. They help Satan fi mash up my culture. Team say, he in a God them trust. Me and Madrid know for them dollars run first. Lord, that judge them the cost. When for vanity then the loss. Pounds and pence, dollars and cents. Most important sense, the common sense. But enough man dense. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. First, make we see how far your back bend. If you don't know how, get less of a current. Turn your body round like a smoothie or the blend. New dance trend. Style we no borrow, style we no lend. For sure, we no the beg no friend. From in the thing from way back when for the elders and the children. Can't do the thing till they gonna do it like charge. Back it up in the garage. Make them know we squad living large. Hold a salute every sarge. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. We like when you shake it. Never gonna DR if you can't fake it. Entire yam, heart and thick. Mama take 9 months to make it. Act like you didn't need Johnny cake before you bake it. Take a pass to the cars, then twerk it. Then your style you can't buy the new market. All of the styling bang surpass it, yo. Watch when they blaze it. Have the symbol like we don't tease it. Tell the DJ, rewind it. Bust a sweat and work it. Disappear for a while, but now I'm back again, introducing a new style.
Yeah. Come on, friend. Listen to this track.
Come on, listen to this track.
Now who sing there? No man, that song.
I can't mind what one day.
Yeah, please, man.
Big bully in a pen,
I'm not sure if we meet before CY. What you gonna CY?
Go jump past 41 mile marker. If you want
something
Just
extra.
as far as you want to
Feel the
brother.
water.
It's
Be a
come
real
on.
wild, but no way
And
I'm
you
back
have
again.
to brother.
And you are? All right.
I am a musical zen.
Yeah, I'm there.
Disappear for a while, but
I was there last year, July.
Call them call the link ring. I am a musical zen.
Yeah.
It in the charts and bling bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, bling bang.
Yes, sir.
Big bully in a pen, bling bang. Booster her head,
This-
this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Bling bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, bling bang. Big bully in a pen,
And
bling
next time you see
bang.
this song again, mention my father when you understand too. Man. No, man, first time I had this stuck up.
Stop playing, man. That's why I got a couple tracks to play whatever. That brings back to the thing. Don't worry.
Share me for me email, man. Please, I'll share a couple of my songs with you too.
Man, bless up, man. I got you, man. Keep up the good work, my boy. You think?
Respect. One love. I really appreciate Miss